So students, in this video we shall be learning about the concepts of immunoglobulins. So in our previous class we have studied about the immunology. So in this we shall be studying about the various antibodies in our body, and they are referred to as immunoglobulins. So what are immunoglobulins? These are a specialized group of proteins. So these are a specialized group of proteins these are specialized proteins which are mostly associated with gamma globulin fraction of plasma proteins, that are mainly a part of gamma globulin fraction of plasma proteins. Some immunoglobulins, however, separate along with beta and alpha globulins also. Therefore, it should be noted that gamma globulin and immunoglobulin are not synonymous. So, these are not synonyms to each other, but immunoglobulins are mostly associated with the gamma globulins. So, immunoglobulin is a functional term while gamma globulin is a physical term. So, here you will have to distinguish that gamma globulin is a physical term. It is a physical term. Don't confuse it with the immunoglobulin. Whereas immunoglobulin, being a part of gamma globulin, is a functional term. It is a functional term. So now let us discuss the structure of immunoglobulin first. So here you can see a detailed structure of how a immunoglobulin looks like. So this is the structure of an antibody or an immunoglobulin, and it basically consists of two identical heavy chains, or the H chains. See here, it is containing two identical heavy chains and two identical light chains. So two identical heavy and two identical light chains are there, which are held together by disulfide linkages and non-covalent interactions. So there are the disulfide linkages. Just look at here. See, these are the disulfide linkages that are responsible for attachment of the two light and heavy chains. These one also. These are the interchain disulfide bonds. These are the interchain disulfide bonds. Thus, immunoglobulin is a Y-shaped tetramer. So here you can see it is a Y-shaped tetramer. We all will be knowing that it is a Y-shaped tetramer, commonly referred to as H2L2. So two heavy and two light identical chains. So each heavy chain contain approximately 450 amino acids, while each light chain has 212 amino acids. The heavy chains are linked to the carbohydrate, hence immunoglobulins are glycoproteins. So see here, they are also linked to the carbohydrate molecules. The heavy chains are also linked to the carbohydrate molecules. These are the carbohydrate molecules. Therefore, they are also known as glycoproteins. So now there are some constant and variable regions. Constant and variable regions. So first of all, what are these constant regions? Each chain, whether light or heavy, has two regions or domains, namely the constant and the variable. The amino terminal half of the light chain is the variable. See here, the amino terminal, this is the variable, this one or this one, that is blue in color, this is the variable region, while the carboxy terminal half is the constant region. So the carboxy terminal half is the constant region. So this one is the constant region, this one also. These are the constant regions. As regards heavy chain, approximately 1/4 of the amino terminal region is variable, while the remaining 3/4 are So the remaining 3/4 will be the constant one. So the constant regions will be referred to as CH1. Now students, please take care of the structure here. The CH1, CH2 and CH3. So these and these regions are constant, whereas the variable region is represented by VH. Now these are the variable regions. So these were for the heavy chain, and for the light chain the constant regions will be CL and the variable region will be VL. Just see here, VL and CL, these are the variable and the constant regions respectively in the light chain. So these are for the light chain. The amino acid sequence of the variable regions of the light and heavy chains is responsible for the specific binding of the immunoglobulin with the antigen. So they serve as a site for antigen binding. So they are acting as a site for antigen binding. This is important for the immunoglobulin's specificity. So see, now the structure should be clear to you. Now how does this proteolytic cleavage of the immunoglobulin occur? We are familiar with an enzyme known as papain, which can cause the splittings of the immunoglobulin into their respective fragments. These are two identical antigen binding fragments, Fab, and one crystallizable fragment. So see here, these are referred to as two different splitting molecules, whereas Fab represents the identical antigen binding fragments. These are FAB are identical antigen binding fragments see here. Reason being, these sites serve as the purpose for antigen binding. So antigen binding occurs either here or it may occur either here. Whereas the region FC represents the crystallizable fragment. So this is the crystallizable fragment. So two identical antigen binding fragments will be there and one crystallizable fragment. So papain cleaves the immunoglobulin molecule at the site between the CH1 and CH2 regions, which is referred to as hinge region. So students, see carefully here, this is the hinge region, the site of the split ends. So papain will be acting at this hinge region between the CH1, see here, and the CH2. So papain will be acting here. It will cause the split ends into two identical antigen binding fragments, FABs, and one crystallizable fragment. So this was regarding the physical structure of the immunoglobulins. Now we shall be studying about the various classes of the immunoglobulins. What are the various classes in the immunoglobulins? So concerning with the humans, there are total 5 classes or 5 types of immunoglobulins. Namely, IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. So these are containing the chains gamma. I would like to represent by different color. So gamma for the IgG, alpha for IgA, so mu for IgM, delta for IgD and epsilon for IgE. So these are the various heavy chains that are a part of the respective immunoglobulins. The type of the heavy chain ultimately determines the class and the function of the given immunoglobulin. So these heavy chains are quite responsible in determining the functionality of a particular immunoglobulin. The two type of the light chains, namely kappa and lambda. So there are two types of, these are the heavy chains. And the light chains are of two types only. Light chains are of two types, that is either kappa or lambda. So an immunoglobulin contains two kappa and two lambda light chains and never a mixture. So the occurrence of kappa chains is more common in an immunoglobulin than the lambda chains. So now the various molecular formula can be the different one. For example, for the IgG antibodies, the formula can be gamma 2, kappa 2 or gamma 2 and lambda 2. So these can be the molecular formula for IgG. Similarly for the IgA, as it contains the alpha heavy chains, it can be alpha 2 and kappa 2 or alpha 2 and lambda 2. So similarly it can be different for the different antibodies. I am just mentioning the examples. So now we shall be studying each antibody in detail. First of all comes the first one is IgG antibodies, immunoglobulin type G antibodies. So what are these? It is the most abundant class of immunoglobulins and is composed of a single Y-shaped unit monomer. It can traverse blood vessels readily. So the structure which was drawn here was regarding the IgG antibodies. This is the structure for IgG antibody. So it is the only immunoglobulin that can cross the placenta. So the major features are they can easily cross, the only antibody to cross the placental barrier and transfers the mother immunity to the developing fetus. So it can help to protect the fetus from various pathogenic conditions. The IgG antibodies trigger the foreign cell destruction mediated by the complement system. So in these, the foreign cell destruction occurs through complement system. This is a type of the immune response. So now the next are IgA antibodies. Now, a special feature of IgG antibodies is that it helps in the humoral immunity. I forgot to mention. It also plays a major role in humoral immunity. Now let us discuss regarding the IgA antibodies. They occur as a single monomer or a double unit dimer held together by J chain. So in this the presence of J chain is there. It is mostly found in the body secretions such as saliva. Found in body secretions such as human saliva or in tears, in sweat, milk and walls of intestine. The IgA is the most predominant antibody in the colostrum. Hence, the initial secretion from the mother's breast after the baby is born is quite essential. It is mainly present in colostrum. So, it is the first breast milk that is provided to the newborn baby. So, it helps to transfer the immunity from the milk of the mother to the newborn child. So the IgA molecules bind with the bacterial antigens present on the body, mainly on the outer epithelial surfaces, and remove them. In this way, it prevents the foreign substances from entering the body cells. Thus, it protects the body surface. It mainly plays a role in the protection of the body surface. Through sweat, it protects the skin also. So now the third type of antibodies are IgM. IgM is the largest immunoglobulin composed of 5 Y-shaped units. So it is the largest of the immunoglobulins containing 5 Y-shaped units, mainly the IgG type. You can see for the reference, held together by a J polypeptide chain. So these are held together by a J polypeptide chain. Thus it is a pentamer. So this is referred to as a pentamer molecule. Due to its large size, they cannot traverse the blood vessels, hence it is restricted only to the bloodstream. So these are restricted to the bloodstream only. It is the first antibody to be produced in the response to an antigen and is most effective against the invading microbe. So it may be noted that they can simultaneously combine with the 5 antigenic sites due to its pentameric structures. So it is the first immune response. Which is generated against any antigen entering the body, and due to its pentameric structures it has 5 antigenic binding sites, so it can easily help to trap the foreign antigens. Now the fourth one is IgD antibodies. It is composed of a single Y-shaped unit and is present in low concentration in circulation. These are present on the surface of the B cells. So these are single Y-shaped units that are present in low concentration, and they are present on the surface of B cells, present on surface of B cells that are matured in the bone marrow. So their function, however, is not known for certain, but some believe that they may function as the beta cell receptor. So it's not validated till now, but they serve as a purpose for B cell receptors. And lastly, the fifth one is immunoglobulin E or IgE. Now, Ig antibodies is also a Y-shaped monomer. It is also a Y-shaped single monomer. It is normally present in a very low concentration in blood, but IgE levels are elevated in individuals with allergies as it is associated with the allergic response of the body. So, it is mainly found in allergies. Though the level of IgE antibodies are elevated during the body's allergic response. These molecules tightly bind with the mast cells which release the histamine and cause allergy. So, they have specific binding sites for the mast cells, thus promoting the release of histamine that induces allergic response. So now let us see the structure of the various antibodies. First of all, the IgG antibodies. So these are simply the Y-shaped unit monomer. You can see here simple monomeric structure, whereas IgE also represents the same structure, and so the IgD antibodies. These are having the simple Y-shaped unit monomer. So these are all the Y-shaped monomeric structures. Now comes the structure of IgM antibodies. See here, IgM antibodies. So IgM antibodies, they occur as a pentamer or having the 5 Y-shaped units. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it is containing a 5 Y-shaped units. Together they are connected by a J chain or a joining polypeptide that held together these all Y-shaped monomers. So it is having these 5 sites for binding of the antigen. So due to this huge structure, they are not able to traverse the blood vessels, hence they are only restricted to the bloodstream. Now the structure of IgA antibodies, they are existing either as a monomer or a double unit dimer. So these are a dimer. You can see 1 and 2 here. It exists as a dimer with a joining chain here. It is a joining polypeptide plus they are also having a presence of secretory protein. This yellow colored structure is secretory protein. They help to secrete the enzymes on the outer epithelial cells. So this was all regarding the various immunoglobulins. See here, you can easily see the structure of immunoglobulins, quite a complex one, but it is easier to draw. So the various heavy and light chains in them, the 5 types of antibodies IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. And now how to distinguish them on the basis of their structure. Only the structure of IgM antibodies is different. Otherwise IgA antibody structure is also easy, whereas IgG, IgE and IgD are all Y-shaped monomers. So students, I hope the concept of immunoglobulins is clear to you now. In the next class we shall be studying the various disorders that are associated with the lymphocytes. So till then revise them and learn.